Good morning, afternoon, or evening, judges. My name is Varalee, and the book I chose for this competition is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. The book starts off with our 16-year-old main character, Katniss Everdeen, who is sneaking off into the woods to meet her best friend, Gale Hawthorne, who is waiting at their cliff to eat breakfast. When she arrives, they sit and eat and talk about the reaping that is happening that day. The reaping happens every year on the same day in all 12 districts, where all the kids from age 12 to 18 get their name put in a bowl and gets lucky drawn by a host. The older they get, the more names you have in, and you can add more names in to get supplies. This year, Primrose Everdeen, Katniss' little sister, gets picked, which is rare since she's only 12, so she only has one name in. Scared and worried for her sister, Katniss volunteers to take her place. The boys get picked, and a guy Katniss' age named Peter Malark steps on the stage to join her. After short visits from family and friends, the two are whisked away to the capital. On the train there, they meet Haymitch, who is supposed to be their mentor, but is pretty much a wash-up drunk. All mentors are previous tributes who won the Hunger Games. Haymitch is the only winner alive from District 12 and is kind of depressed because all the kids he's mentored before have died. After a bit of convincing, Haymitch decides to help them. Once they arrive at the capital, Katniss meets her stylist because not only does she have to kill people her age, she has to look nice doing it to appease the audience because this is television, and in the future, television is watching kids kill each other, which is great. After the arrival runway show, they do training for the next few days, then get ranked based on their skill set. Katniss gets an 11, which puts her as the highest and puts a target on her back. Before going to the arena, all the tributes get an interview, and in Peeta's, he admits that he's had an ongoing crush on Katniss for a while. Once arriving at the arena, Katniss goes to the cornucopia to get supplies. She gets a backpack, then runs into the woods to find shelter. By nightfall, 11 tributes have already been killed, and now there are only 13 left, including Katniss. She climbs up a tree and sleeps, and by sleeps, I mean she climbs into a sleeping bag that she finds in her backpack and then wraps herself in rope to bind herself to the tree so she doesn't roll off while she's asleep. The next few days in the arena consist of almost dying from dehydration, finding out that Peeta is working with the people trying to kill her, which is not how you impress your crush, FYI. Having fireballs being thrown at her and killing 2 of the people Peeta was working with and stealing their bow, and then she figures out that Peeta is actually trying to help her, and then after he helps her, she runs away and passes out in a ditch. When she wakes up from passing out in the ditch, she finds Rue, a 12-year-old tribute from District 11, tending to her. The two of them bond over the next few days, then figure out that the careers, which is the group Peeta was working with, don't know how to forage for food. They know how to kill, but they don't know how to find food from themselves. So they end up blowing up the food supplies. And so that's great. But the plan works out, but Rue ends up dying, so Katniss is depressed for the rest of the day, but then hears an announcement of a rule change where 2 people from the same district can win together. She goes and looks for Peeta, who is from her district, and she finds him by accidentally stepping on him because he decided it would be a genius idea to cover himself in mud and get stepped on. Great. She finds out that he is severely injured and might die, which the mud probably didn't help because it probably gave him an infection. Smart guy. They find a cave near a stream of water that they stay in for the next few days. Peeta's condition continues to worsen so bad that he might die, which we already knew that, so I don't know why I repeated it. During the days they are there, Katniss realizes that every time she and Peeta act romantic, they get rewarded by Haymitch, and by that, I mean Haymitch is their mentor, and like I said earlier, the Hunger Games is like a television show for the people of the capital. So the people of the capital send in money and place bets on the people they think are going to win, and the more Peeta and Katniss act romantic, the more the people of the capital are happy, so they send money to try to support them. Haymitch uses that money to send them food and supplies. Another announcement comes saying that at the cornucopia there is supplies that the remaining tributes need. Katniss thinks it's medicine for Peeta and wants to go, but Peeta thinks it's too dangerous, so Katniss gives him a sleeping draught that Haymitch sends that allows her to slip out to the cornucopia to get the medicine. At the cornucopia, Katniss gets attacked by a girl from another district, but luckily for her, Thresh, a guy from District 11, helps her because of how she treated Rue. Going back to the cave, she injects Peeta with the medicine, then passes out from pure exhaustion. They spend the next few days in the cave waiting out the rain. In the cave, the romance between Katniss and Peeta grow. When the rain finally stops, they go out foraging for food. Peeta finds poisonous berries and almost ate them, but Katniss stopped him before he could, although it's too late for the girl who was stealing some of the berries Peeta collected. She ate them and died a few minutes later. After a few more days, they head back to the cornucopia since their stream of water dried up. Now there are only 3 tributes left since Cato, Katniss, and Peeta, and Thresh was killed by Cato a few days earlier. While sitting by the lake near the cornucopia, Cato comes barreling past them while being chased by genetically modified wolves that look like the tributes that have died. Katniss and Peeta run to the cornucopia to get away from them and climb to the top. At the top, Cato attacks Peeta and Katniss shoots Cato with an arrow. Thinking it's over, Katniss and Peeta finally relax until yet another announcement is made saying that they are revoking the earlier rule change and now there can only be one victor. And Katniss and Peeta don't want to kill each other, so they pretend to eat the poisonous berries from earlier that Katniss decided to collect, and the people fall for it and take both of them out of the arena since they need a winner. Then, when back, Haymitch warns Katniss that she needs to make her and Peeta's love story look realistic or they could be in serious trouble because they defied the Capitol, which is a no-no. After another interview, they head back to the district, and Katniss admits that she never actually had feelings for Peeta. Peeta is angry and hurt, but when the cameras turn on, they hold hands one last time and pretend that they are in love. The theme of this book is the ability and desire to survive, and the moral is that you should stand up for what you believe in no matter the circumstances. Thank you for listening to my storytelling competition application, and goodbye.